Yeah. My advice would be this. Don't pick a career for the child. No. Train the child in a way that they will not depart from. Give them values and foundation in life that they will be able to make and inform choices and decisions on their own. Remember, all of us, we are the sum total of the choices and the decisions that we make. Don't pick a career for the child. No. Give them positive values, like Elvis was saying. Give them positive values, foundation that they will be able to make that informed choice and decision on their own. That would be my advice. Now, another thing I wanted to add to that point is this. If you come from a poor background, like most of us, like myself, your number one driver, what drives you is success. And success to you is defined in terms of money. That is where majority of us come from. So what drives us is to be successful. Success to us at that stage is money. Please, it works for me, and I hope it works for you. Find passion in it. Develop passion in it. When you do that, you will begin to live a life of meaning and purpose. You won't be chasing money again. Money will not become your number one driving factor.
Okay.
My advice is this. I believe after bachelor's degree, somebody who has really studied, not going to the university and jumping and you just manage and come out, when you really study, you accumulate your education, something sticks. There is something that will always track in your mind what you can do. Yes. Naturally, we try to deviate from it, but after bachelor's degree, when you graduate, that is why sometimes it's good to graduate and put on a rope.
After bachelor's degree, is that not going to be too far? Bachelor's degree, that's 20, 23 years old, 25, 20.
That is when you develop some maturity where you can make an internal decision in your brain. At 18 years, you are still very fragile. Yeah. That is only when you develop a maturity in your brain where you can start thinking objectively.
Tell us.
Okay. Yes. No, you're right. The exception that you get people who can find their interest and passion at a very young age. So yeah. just to agree with what Elvis is saying, yeah.
Okay. So Elvis, if you want to finish that point before Alex gets in.
Yes. What I was saying is that when you develop that thing into your brain after this level of education, just try and follow what you like, what you want to do. I understand that down there it's a bit difficult, but there is always a way, trust me. Yes.
Oh, Elvis.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Elvis.
It's a very interesting story of mine with me and my father. I used to be the type I used to like schooling a lot. I love reading. I was typical science guy. And my dad is a teller, even right now he's a teller. But he was the one that was bent to educating us. He loved education. But then during holidays, I'm not condemning agriculture, but I hate farm work. I hated farm work like I could go mad for it. I don't want to cash it. I hated it like madness. But then this man will not let me rest during holidays. Even during normal days,
call him to come and
to the farm. So one day we went to the farm, we were planting cocoa with him. Only two of us in the farm. We're planting cocoa and planting cocoa. I walked, I was exhausted. Let's go. This man doesn't want to go. Hey, keep on shouting at me, you're lazy. I walked to him. We're seated under a certain mango tree. We're eating. Then I told him, I said, I have something I want to tell him something. I took the courage. I wanted to break it. You know, like what Dr. Bernard said, after 25 years, you can start already. I wanted to break it. I told him that if you wanted, up to now, he still says he used to share it even with the younger ones. I told him that if you wanted me to become an agriculture man, just send me to agriculture school rather than coming here to suffer me all the time. The man was speechless. Do you know that was the last time I went to the farm? Till today, I've never been to the farm.
Wow.
That was the last time. He came back home and told my mother that this man should not go to the farm again.
I want to make this clear. It's not a bad thing to influence. It's not even a bad thing to that 98% of people follow one thing because they think it's their success. My argument is this. Follow if you feel that this is my newfound passion. I want to do it. I have no problem with that. I only have an issue when you do it just because others are doing it or because someone asks you to do it. And then you end up in this thing that you are not happy. I mean, Neville, have you been into a clinic or a doctor and received by an unhappy nurse? Can you imagine? Or imagine an unhappy teacher teaching your child. Just imagine, because these are things we see. And you will see people who do take this type of stuff into disciplinary session. One aspect that always comes out is they are not happy. It's like they don't have passion in it. There are several reasons, obviously. But it comes out clearly that very often it's because their mind, they are not fully dedicated. That's what I'm arguing about. It's good for someone to influence you positively. There's positive influence. Someone can influence you, guide you. I mean, if I were to arrive in Canada today, in Montreal today, with an A-level in science, and tell Elvis that I want to do something that can quickly earn money. I'm interested in science. Probably nursing will come to his mind, which he will suggest to me. Oh, this is something that many people do, and within 2-3 years, you can start earning an income. And then I can see it. Oh, yes, my background, and it's also my passion. I always wanted to do medicine and so on. So there's nothing wrong with that. But to do it simply because, or for Elvis to simply force me, discourage me from any other thing that exists, and say, people come here and do nursing, you come, you want to do A, B, and C.
Dr. Bernard, thank you. That is the problem.
Keep giving the topic in mind. I think for parents, you and I today, we need to get closer to our children's teachers. You see these class 1, class 2, class 3 teachers, let's go back to those guys. Those guys might have a better key than us, than even the guys at class 7, from 1, from 2, from 5. Let's go back and let's begin to respect these teachers. Class 1 to class 7 in primary school, we know our economy has taught us that there are no people. And especially when we grow up now to become them, we are thinking that we are better people. But those are the people that have the keys, the careers of our children more than us. Because my fear is this. I would really like to see our children at the age of 5-10 years, they are already competing. Not that they are approaching 50 years and then they are changing. But it's fine. Even if somebody is 20, 30, 40 years old, you realize that you are in the wrong career, you still have time. You still have time. And I think I'll leave it at that. Or the career that I have today, see how I managed to get to business that I like. Time immemorial, my mother, grandmother, everybody around us till today, my mother does buying and selling of food stuff in Douala. I'm happy with it. My grandmother used to be a petit trader. I was a biochem maths physics student. Went to University of Boya, wanted to go do biochemistry. My cousin in the United States of America said, go and do accounting. So you can imagine our career in Africa, it's scary. Go and do accounting. I went to accounting, realized I don't want to sit behind computers. I want to be talking to people as I'm doing. Deep banking and finance, found myself in business. And this is a scary part. What if I was sitting here today after 3-4 decades and then I realized, oh, all of a sudden, I don't like it. It is fine. You and I can always go back. That is what they have not taught us over time. But we can instill this knowledge to the younger generations. I'll leave it at that.